Hello students, welcome back to our channel, and here we are again with a new video. Today we are going to study the English main course book of Standard 8, and the chapter which we are going to study is chapter number 2.2, that is The Last Stone Mason, and the writer who wrote this story is Sirbur Srivastava. So basically this story is about stonemason. If you don't know who are the stonemason, they are the people, they are the person who carve out the shape of god or goddess or any kind of idol from stone. They make beautiful statues. But suddenly what happens, they find it that this profession, this occupation is not a revenue generating profession. That means they cannot earn their livelihood by doing so. So some of the stonemason, they started doing different kind of work. They stopped doing this, and the people who used to carve out the statue of god or goddess, they are remained very less in quantity. So this story is all about that only. So there are a few characters in the story. We will read and find out in the story. So now let's get started. So as you turn on the page, you will find out that there is only one line that is written at the top of the page, that is, what will happen to a dying art? Will it survive the last stone mason? That means this art, this culture is dying because nobody wants to do this. Why so? We will find out in the story. So let's read out the paragraphs and then we will find out what this story is all about. The young man flung the hammer and chisel to the ground and cried, "I'm leaving, father. I'm leaving you and this work. Look what it has brought to us." So there's a young man who is going to leave this profession, who is keeping all the tools. There are two tools mentioned, hammer and chisel. So this is an important tool to carve out any shape. So he does not want to be in this profession. Why? Because it is not giving as much money as it can survive. He spread out his arms and glanced disdainfully at the small congested workroom, the slabs of stone and marble stacked in one corner, and the old cot covered with a pile of used clothes in the other. The whitewashed walls were stained by many monsoons. So here the line "stained by many monsoons" is highlighted in blue color. That means it is considered as a difficult word for children, and the meaning of this line is given at the bottom of the page. What does it mean? It means the paint was peeling after being exposed to many monsoons. That means the walls have not been painted or refurbished, we can say, or renewed many times. So it is getting old, it is getting dirty, it has got stains. The window bare of curtains opened into a tiny backyard. So it is this paragraph, this paragraph, all these lines, they are describing the scene of the room in which they used to do their work. It is looking like very poor kind of room, lack of facilities. It doesn't have proper bed and proper tools, and entire room, it is filled with stains and dirts. So everything is looking like very poor. It does not have many facilities for the people, for the stonemasons, so that they can do their work comfortably. After all these years of work, this is all we have. Nothing. This kind of work just doesn't pay. So here it is clearly mentioned that by doing this work you cannot earn money. It is just a kind of devotion to your god or your goddess by doing this work. The old man stared at his son in astonishment. So the old man is very surprised because being an old man, he was very much devoted in this work. But the younger generation, his son, doesn't want to do this work anymore. He wants to do something that can earn money. Although his voice trembled, it didn't lose its usual gentleness. It's not only the money that matters, son, it's the service, our service to God. So you can assume how much devoted the old man is. He doesn't bother about the money, whether he is getting money or not. He is devoted towards the service which he is doing by carving the stones and making the shapes of God and Goddess. So he considers it uh, as a devotion towards the God. Father, the young man grunted impatiently. Times have changed. The stonemason's work has changed too. You can't live on sculptures for temples only. You have to mass produce. Mass produce like all the others in Agra. Come on, father. So the young man, he is insisting his father to come to Agra and do something else which can earn money. Because it is the fact that only with devotion, only by worshipping and creating the sculptures, the statues of God and Goddess, you cannot survive. To survive, you need money. And for that only, the son is inviting his father to come to Agra and do some other work so that they can earn good money. The lines around the old man's mouth tightened. Again, it is highlighted in blue color. That means the old man showed displeasure. That means he is not finding it good. He is not finding it comfortable to leave the current occupation and shifting to somewhere else. No, my son. This is the work I learned from my father and he learned from his father. So this work is coming from generation and generation. That's why father doesn't want to leave this work. We have kept up this tradition for hundreds of years and I hope you would continue our work. And the same is father expecting to do with his son. He expected that my son also will continue this work as I continued and as my father continued and as my grandfather continued. So we are carrying this tradition from hundreds of years and we are keeping it alive. No, father, the young man replied with determination. So he is very much determined that he is not going to do this work anymore. There is much more money in ashtrays and plates for tourist shop. So basically the other work which the young man is preferring is to make plates and ashtrays in Agra for tourists because it can be sold at a much higher price and it can earn good amount of money. I'm tired of working for a pittance. Again it is the word working for a pittance, the line it is highlighted in blue color, that means working for a very little money. That means this work will give you very little amount of money. For the committee of the temple in Srinagar, I am leaving father. So basically the stonemason family is living in Srinagar. You should note it. Where they are living? They are living in Srinagar and there is a committee which take care of temples and they are making statues for that committee for the temple. The young man stormed out of the room, leaving his old father crouching in front of a half-finished marble statue whose shape already suggested its future magnificence. So finally the young man left his father and his father was working on a statue of a god or goddess which has taken half of the shape and it is very magnificent, very beautiful. He dropped his hand into his lap and closed his eyes. He began to pray and didn't even hear the hesitant goodbye. His son called out from the door. He sat motionless, unaware of the time and place. So, he was so much surprised and saddened by the decision taken of his son that he stopped working. He kept all the tools and he was like sitting very sad. And his son left. Master Ji called Salim, the servant boy entering the workshop barefooted. So there is also, up to now we have 3 characters in this story. Father, who is the stonemason, his son, and I must write it. so that you can understand properly. So there are basically three characters we have found. The first is old man, that is the father. So he is the major stonemason, and his son is the stonemason. His son is also stonemason, and Salim, he is basically servant. Yes, right, he is a servant. Master Ji called Salim, the servant boy, entered the workshop barefooted. So he doesn't have any kind of slipper or shoes. He enters in the room and called Master Ji, whom? Old man, that is the stonemason. He held out a glass of steaming tea in his hand. Master Ji, he asked once more, his voice filled with concern. So he was very much concerned that what happened to my Master Ji. He is not giving me reply, and he is offering a cup of tea to his owner, that is the old man. The old man looked up. His face was ashen. Here his face was ashen. He is again highlighted in blue color. That means he looked pale. He looked sad. He looked old and very tired. He beckoned the boy to come closer and motioned him to sit down. So he just he called him the hand and told him to sit down. Salim, he said gently, soon I will be the last stonemason here. That means he is well aware of the fact that when I die, there would not be any person who can carve out the statues, carve out the idols of God and goddess. So he considers him to be the last stonemason in Srinagar. All the others would have gone to Agra. They are turning out cheap candle stands, paperweights and ashtrays by the dozen. So by doing this they are earning money. They are making money, but they betray our skill. So the old man thinks that we are not meant to do this kind of work. We should do much higher and much repeated work that is very rare, which is to carve out the shape of God and goddess. And he considers it to be worshipping the God and goddess. He is so much devoted towards this profession. An age-old tradition. Now Gopal has also gone, so the son, this person, his name is Gopal. Now Gopal has also gone. I'll have to finish the sculpture alone. And with the help of God, I'll do it, Salim. So he was so much confident that he thought, even if my son Gopal has left this sculpture in between and unfinished, I will do it alone. I can complete it alone. I know you will, Master Ji, the boy answered. You will make many more, larger and more beautiful temple sculptures. And Salim also believes that his Master Ji is very much talented and very much experienced. Apart from this unfinished statue, he can make many more, taller, towering, magnificent and beautiful. The old man looked at the orphan boy who had come to work for him 5 years ago. So Salim came to Master Ji 5 years ago to learn this tradition. And he is orphan. He doesn't have any family. Drenched to the skin, dressed in tatters, he had begged for shelter during a furious monsoon storm and had stayed on to work for the old master craftsman. He had gone tall and strong. The old man knew that Salim too would leave him one day. So when Salim came to Master Ji, his clothes was tattered, he was thin and he was looking like starved. So Master Ji gave him shelter, food, and now he has grown as a tall and young boy. But Master Ji also knew the fact that one day Salim would also leave him, so he will be all alone. He sighed and looked into the serious eyes of the boy. Clouded with sadness, the old man could not understand. He shook his head. My strength is waning. So here the word my strength is waning again highlighted in blue color. That means I am becoming weaker. So as soon as the old man is getting older, he is also getting weaker. I can't work with the chisel like I used to. So he said and he explained Salim that I cannot work as I used to do in my youth. Now I'm getting old, so my hands are shivering. I cannot do it perfectly as I used to do in my youth when I was young. Carving takes too long, much too long. So in youth it was like a child's play, but now it takes a lot of time to carve a beautiful shape. Then he straightened up and said with fresh determination, I'll have to finish this work and surely I will. Now he stood up, the old man stood up and said with a great confidence, I will do it because I have to do it. I have to finish this sculpture. Yes, you will. The boy repeated, offering his master the glass of tea. Drink, please. It will do you good. That means it will give you some sort of energy, and you will be feeling fresh again. Then he added, I have to go to the market for an hour or two, but I'll be back in time to prepare dinner. Now the servant Salim said that I'm going to market. I have to buy some vegetables so that I can prepare the dinner. The old man nodded and thought he has been going to the market too often lately. I hope he hasn't fallen into bad company. Now the old man is worried. Why is he going many times to the market? He must have fallen in the company of some bad people or some bad boys. He shot a question glance at the boy who turned and left the room. So he thought with a doubt and he looked at the boy that don't fall, like his eyes were saying that don't fall into bad company and come back soon. The old man sighed and picked up the chisel and hammer. The cool metal of the tools filled him with happiness and confidence. He loved his work and didn't want to change it for any other in the world. So here one important lesson we should learn in this story, that it is not important which profession or which occupation you choose. The important thing is you must enjoy your work. You must enjoy doing the job you are doing. If you enjoyed it, if you are happy with your work, then you can do it anytime at any age. No matter how old you are, how tired you are, you will be loving doing it. Days and weeks went by. It was a month since Gopal had left. So now 1 month has passed. The old man worked tirelessly. That means the old man is working days and nights to complete the sculpture as soon as possible. From morning till late at night he worked on the sculpture. It was all there. In the stone, the strong straight shoulders of Krishna, his soft curved hips. He could see the pointed fingers holding the flute delicately to his lips. His serene face, eternally beautiful. Here eternally beautiful, that means always beautiful. So now we can understand that the sculpture on which the old man is working is the idol of Krishna, Lord Krishna. And now since the old man is working days and nights, now it is taking shape. Now you can see the flute, now you can see the body parts clearly visible, and it is very much magnificent. It is taking beautiful shape. The old man could see it in the stone, he could feel it. He only had to set it free with his chisel. To set it free with his chisel, that means to carve it out. So the old man can see the beauty of the idol in the stone only. Just he has to strike with the hammer and chisel and give it a shape. He didn't feel hunger, he didn't feel thirst. He was driven by the desire to finish the sculpture in time. So he was mad behind this. And he does not feel any kind of thirst, any kind of hunger. He was just working days and nights to finish the sculpture as soon as possible. He was just running behind the sculpture. It was his biggest piece. his best, it would also be his last. Up to now, as many sculptures he has made, out of which it was the biggest, it was the most beautiful, and also it was the last sculpture he is going to make. On and on he worked, his chisel striking the stone again and again. But then came the day when the old man felt his strength ebb. Felt his strength ebb, that means felt weak, as if he cannot do it anymore. He was so weak that he found himself strengthless. And his hands trembled under the impact of the hammer. His shoulders began to ache. His arms felt heavy and his eyes grew tired. So now he is getting old, he is also very much tired because he is working days and night to finish the sculpture. And the moment came when he thought, I am not able to complete this sculpture. Then his vision blurred. His vision blurred, that means he could not see clearly. That means he felt, that moment he felt that this sculpture would be unfinished because I'm not able to walk anymore. Now I'm feeling very weak. And he could not see the shape of Krishna embedded in the stone. So now, earlier than this, he could see the shape of Lord Krishna clearly, but now he is not able to see that because he is not able to work further. Overcome with fear, he sank to his knees and prayed. So now he's going to the last option. Now he's going to pray that Lord, please Lord Krishna, help me so that I can complete your sculpture. Master Ji, Salim said, you haven't touched your food again. Please have some rice and vegetable. You only had a glass of milk for breakfast and have the curd. You like curd, I know you do. So now, repeatedly, constantly, the servant Salim is offering him food, but the Master Ji has not taken food. He hasn't eaten any breakfast, any dinner. He just has taken a glass of milk. So he is offering rice, vegetable, and curd because Master Ji likes curd very much. So now, the old man looked up, he whispered, I don't think I'll be able to finish it. If Gopal was here, it would be different. So now he thought that if my son was here, it would be a different scene. He would have helped me and we could have finished this sculpture together. He nodded absent-mindedly to himself and continued. He wasn't the best of craftsmen, but he was good and strong. He chipped off the stone layer by layer as if it were clay. He hadn't yet learned to carve the finer details, but in a year or two he would have learned surely. So, Gopal was not the finest craftsman, but since he was young, since he was full of strength and energy, he was doing the work with great energy. He was like carving the stone like it was very much easy for him. It was like just tearing the paper. So his hammer and chisel strike with great strength, and the work now which is taking like 2 hours, it is getting finished in just half an hour. So the time taken is very less because of the energy and strength of Gopal. Still he is not able to carve the stone very beautifully, make it a masterpiece. But the old man believes that he would have learned it in upcoming 1 year or 2 years. He fell silent. It was the features and hands that gave him trouble. There was something missing in his figures, that something which can't be taught. So he thought he felt in greed to earn more and more money. That's why he left. But this profession is not about money. It is about devotion and worship. Because it comes from somewhere deep inside you. So this profession, it doesn't like anybody goes and learn it. It's like until and unless you feel it from inside, you cannot learn this profession. Salim whispered from deep inside here, and he pointed to his heart. The old man looked at the boy, surprised. He saw him blush and turn his face away. "You're right, Salim, you're right." And then he added with sudden bitterness. So all these things Salim said to Master Ji, and Master Ji also noted that yes, you're right, you said it right. Anybody cannot learn this profession, cannot learn this occupation. It takes lot of desire, lot of devotion from inside, deep inside, from the heart. And if you don't have it here, in thumb his chest, then you had better go to Agra and mass produce ashtrays for the tourists from abroad. Then the old man coughed painfully and reached for his glass of water. Now the old man is also advising Salim that if you want, you can also go to Agra and you can make ashtrays and whatever they are making to earn money. And suddenly he started coughing, so he went to have a glass of water. "Eat, Master Ji, eat. Everything will be all right." Now Salim is consoling his Master Ji to have some food and everything will be fine by the time. After he had eaten, the old man once again took up his hammer and chisel. He worked till late in the night. He prayed for help and strength, and he prayed for his son. In the early hours of the morning, the chisel fell from his hand and the hammer dropped to the ground. His old body sagged, falling forward limply. His forehead struck Krishna's flute and slid down the statue to rest on the pedestal. So that night, after having food, he worked very late at night. Again he woke up early in the morning and started working on the sculpture, but suddenly the hammer and chisel fell from his hand and he was feeling very much weak, and he stabbed his head towards the Krishna's flute and he fell in the feet of the statue. "Hi Ram," he muttered and sank into a comfortable darkness. So now he is completely hopeless. When he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on a cot in his bedroom covered by the light cotton blanket. So when he woke up, he found himself lying on a cot and he was covered with a cotton blanket. From the workshop, the chipping sound of the chisel reached his ears. But as soon as he wakes up, he finds that someone is walking with the hammer and chisel. Who is it? Because Gopal has already left Agra. Gopal has already left Srinagar and went to Agra. Then who else is there in the workshop working with the hammer and chisel? He felt with surprise. He listened. Had his ear deceived him? No, he could hear it again, the strong blow of the hammer on the top of the chisel. So at the moment he thought, no, I must be mistaken because Gopal has already left Srinagar. So who else could be there? But again he hears the strike of the hammer and chisel. So Gopal, he was back. Gopal had returned. So he thought Gopal was there in the workshop and he is working on the sculpture. He would help him. They would finish the statue. He stumbled to his feet, crossed the small room and reached the door. So he thought Gopal is there working with the sculpture and he was filled with energy again. He thought that together with Gopal I can finish the sculpture very soon. So although he is ill, but still somehow trembling, he went inside the workshop, and when he entered at the door, what he finds? Gopal. He was about to shout when the words froze on his lips. No, he wanted to cry out, stop the work, but he couldn't move. Shock had immobilized him. That means he was so shocked that he could not move. But he went inside. He saw that it was not Gopal. It was his servant Salim, who was working on the sculpture with the hammer and chisel. He was shocked and surprised. For a moment, he thought that the sculpture and the shape, the beauty will be ruined, because he thought Salim doesn't know how to carve out beauty of the idol. But he was filled with shock and he was like paralyzed. He could not move, he could not say anything. He stood staring at the back of the young stone carver, walking on the face of the statue, on the eyebrows, arcing over a pair of fine eyes. But what happened? Salim was walking with perfection. He was working like he was the one of the finest craftsmen. He was one of the finest stone mason. So much dedicated he was that he was carving out the eyes, the eyebrows, and the face of the Lord Krishna. It wasn't his son sitting cross-legged before the biggest statue he had ever carved. It was Salim, his servant. So as I said, it was not Gopal, it was Salim. The old man was stunned. He was stunned to see this because earlier than this he doesn't know that even Gopal can carve out the beautiful shape of the statue. The you can say the statue of the Lord Krishna. The first wave of shock, fear and anger passed. Hi Ram, the old man whispered, Hi Ram, and tottered over to the boy. Dropping his hand on his shoulder, he said softly, Salim. So, he thought that Salim is not able to carve the shape of God and Goddess, that means the sculptures. But when he realized that Salim should also be the finest craftsman, the finest stonemason, he was he was filled with joy, and he kept his hand on the shoulder of Salim. The stalled boy turned and looked up at his master. He rose to his feet clumsily. The hammer and chisel still is in hand. So now Salim went to his feet and he was feeling very pity on his master. And he was handing over the hammer and chisel. Salim, the old man searched for words. I only wanted to help, whispered the boy. I learned if you teach me, Masterji. I have practiced secretly for almost 2 years in the quarry. Here quarry means a place where stones are cut. So secretly, the old man, Masterji, didn't know that Salim is learning secretly this art. But in the quarry where the stones are cut into pieces, he learned all these techniques. He learned all these perfection. And he said that my intention was not wrong. I just wanted to help you in this pity situation because I found that you are so much troubled. You are very much worried. And he said, if you teach me, definitely I'll learn and I'll be the perfect, one of the best stonemasons in the time. I'm a Muslim. I know I should not carve the image of God. But isn't it this different, Masterji? I'm carving a sculpture, aren't I? Beautiful sculpture that has different meaning for different people. Isn't it so, Masterji? So he thought that because in the society it is also believed that a Muslim cannot make the idols of God and deity and God and Goddess and all the sculptures. So he was questioning himself and questioning Masterji also, that despite of being a Muslim, I'm also like working and I'm also carving this beautiful sculpture like all the people do. But different people have a different meaning and different people have different thinking about it. Please tell me, for many years I wanted to become a sculptor. Yet I fought the feeling, but it proved too strong. I know there's nothing in this world I would like to do more. There's nothing in life I could do better. Will you please teach me, Masterji? Now Salim is also saying that for many years I was fighting with this thought whether I should do this or not. Whether people will ask me that despite of being a Muslim you are doing this kind of work. But now I have overcome all the questions and I want to learn it. Will you teach me, Masterji? Very firmly Salim is asking, Masterji. The old man pulled the boy's head against his shoulders and whispered, there's nothing I can teach you, my son. Go ahead. You have it in your hands and in your heart. I know you'll be one of the country's finest stonemasons. So now here the story is ending very beautifully. After hearing all these words from Salim, Masterji hugged him very tightly and said, there's nothing left I can teach you. You have it, everything, every art, every technique of carving sculptures you have in your hand and you have in your heart, because all it takes is the desire, is the devotion from inside, and you have it. Go ahead, my son, and complete the sculpture. I believe, I have a very strong faith that one day you will be the finest stonemason of this country. So here the story ended. It was a beautiful story and giving a beautiful and very powerful message in the society that all the time we should never run behind the money. In this world there are few occupations, there are few jobs, there are few works that are not meant to earn money, but that are meant to serve the purpose we are here. We have taken birth. So this was the beautiful story carrying a powerful meaning written by Sirgun Srivastav. I hope you understood the story. I hope you understood the meaning, the hidden meaning of the paragraphs in this story. Still you have any kind of doubt or any kind of question, you can write that in the comment box. We will be back again with lots of videos. Till then, like our videos, share our videos and subscribe our channel. And thank you very much for watching our videos. We will be back again. Till then, goodbye and stay tuned.